Welcome back. There were quite a few changes in some of the ministerial portfolios in the Davis administration, and one of them, most notable, former Minister of State for Legal Affairs Jomo Campbell, moving into a new role as Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources. He shares with Jcn News some of his thoughts moving into his new role.
Well, it's exciting. As you heard, 17 years, this is the first time the Bahamas is hosting it. I consider it a privilege to be in the chair at that time. So with regard to receiving the baton from Minister Clay Sweeting, as you know, in any relay, speed is not the only factor, also the skill and the technique of receiving that baton that could actually impact the outcome of the race. So what I want to do right now is listen, learn all of the key players involved so I could apply that information to the conference and really be able to represent all of the stakeholders in this ministry and this industry properly and to the best of my ability.
Asked what staff in his new ministry should expect from him, and in turn, what does he expect from them, Minister Campbell responded like this.
But they should expect for me to be a minister who is open to new ideas, someone who is willing to listen. I come in this knowing that I certainly don't know everything about agriculture, but as Minister Sweeting said, nothing can happen without the complete cooperation of the team. I've met some of them. I'm fully confident that together we could achieve everything that was started and bring it to fruition.
Based on his background in law, Minister Campbell was asked his thoughts on the current policy for those found guilty of polluting the marine environment having their financial settlements with the government kept private, as is the current policy.
The attorney in me would say that my personal legal opinion I should probably keep to myself. However, what I can say is that I'm extremely proud of the fact that under the Ministry of Legal Affairs, we were deeply involved in having some heavy fines levied against those persons who actually polluted our waters. And that's something to be proud of because we are now holding persons accountable. Once persons realize that they're going to be held accountable for doing these things that have negative impacts on our environment, then it reduces the risk and the chances of that happening and continuing.
Hosting a successful Caribbean Week of Agriculture is Mr. Campbell's first task as the new Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources. Speaking from Chicago on Monday morning, Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Progressive Liberal Party's chairman, Fred Mitchell, took aim at leader of the official opposition, Michael Pintard, who he claims wants to take credit for the recent cabinet shuffle by Prime Minister Philip Davis. Here is what the PLP chairman thinks about that notion.
It's really sad to see what the leader of the opposition is now saying. He claims that the reason there are cabinet changes is because he recommended them. He's living in a dream world. Not so. Nonsense. He and his colleagues, who called us PLP's pigs, unless he talked about himself in the mirror, are living in an air of unreality. At Theo Farquharson, the meritorious councillor's funeral in Freeport on the weekend, the various F&M factions had to sit next to one another in church, Ingram, Minnis, Pintard. Well, they were looking straight ahead through the whole service and may now be suffering from a stiff neck. Such are the divisions amongst them. Dwayne Sines and Michael Pintard better mind their own business and stop fooling with the PLP.
Mr. Mitchell then shared details about the PLP's highly anticipated 55th National Convention happening in November.
We're making preparations for the National General Convention of the PLP, which will take place over 9th and 10th November 2023 at Baha Mar. 20 delegates will be chosen for each branch in accordance with the party's new constitution. All posts will be open. There will be no nominations from the floor. Nominees will be in writing, and they must do so 14 days before the convention begins, and requires for leader 50 signatures of party members, deputy leader 40 signatures, chairman 30 signatures, as well as all other posts, 30 signatures. In addition to the signatures and being a member in good standing, there is a non-refundable fee of $2,500 if you're running for leader, $2,000 for deputy leader, $1,500 for chairman, and $250 for all other posts. The theme of the convention is building on progress, driving change.
The PLP's last convention was held in 2019. The Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, revealing that they have initiated a program to optimize the size of their sheep and goats, as well as improve the herd's overall genetic quality. The Institute's veterinarian, Dr. Mark Butler, underlines the importance of this initiative, explaining that the quality of meat production would be higher through improving the genetic quality of BAMSI's sheep and goat herd. Currently, BAMSI has a herd of 197 sheep and goats. And finally, just ahead of the 2023 Junkanoo season, Sunshine Insurance making a hefty donation, $40,000 to the One Family Junkanoo Group. President of Sunshine Insurance, Paul McSweeney, says this, among other donations, is the company's way to protect the culture of Junkanoo.
We're fortunate to be in a position to do so, right? But Junkanoo is the most precious expression of our culture. And I think we all have a duty and responsibility to ensure that it's promoted adequately. It gets the amount of prominence it deserves, and we all can participate and learn from it and also be a part of it. So I think it's a natural fit for our organization. And certainly our chairman, Sir Franklin, is huge on culture. Everything is culture to him. And so we have a sister company that also supports another Junkanoo group, right? They might won't call, but certainly culture is embedded in the entire Sunshine family group.
Sunshine Insurance has been a major corporate sponsor to the Junkanoo Group for over 10 years. Group leader Christina Muffin Fernandez says donations like such go a long way.
It means a lot to us, knowing that coming off the heels of COVID and everything, the price of materials to do what we do on Bay Street has increased tremendously because of the shipping crisis. And we're not just a Junkanoo organization that goes to Bay Street and compete. We're also community bound. And so we would have just celebrated our 18th annual Jackson Burnside back to school giveaway a few weeks ago. And so to have corporate Bahamas with us and for them to keep considering us as part of their family, it means a lot. And so Sunshine would have been the second set of funding that we've received. And so it's very timely. We're not in the basis of Junkanoo groups. We don't make money. We beg for money. But we are, nowadays, we've considered using our practices to engage in fundraising.
As for music and dance, One Family will resume practice on Thursday, September 21st, on the grounds of the Old City Market food store on Market Street. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.